We use nonverbal cues in our everyday lives to communicate with those around us. Everything from our tone of voice to the way we shake hands are components of nonverbal communication. In this video, we explore how nonverbal communication is used by professional League of Legends players. We will focus on how players use haptics, kinesics, and proxemics to show their pride or shame as they win or lose important matches. This will allow us to describe the nonverbal grammar of post-match rituals. But first, we need to define the relevant elements of nonverbal communication. Haptics involves communication through touch. This can be ritualistic, like shaking hands after being introduced. It can also be used to show support or appreciation. Kinesics covers body motion. Gestures like waving can be used as a wordless greeting, while applause communicates appreciation for a performance. Your facial expressions and posture communicate how you feel. Finally, proxemics covers use of space between and around people. This broad category defines how close we stand to other people and why we turn to face someone as we attempt to start a conversation. Before we analyze how players use these three nonverbal techniques, we need some background on the game. League of Legends is a competitive video game developed and published by Riot Games. Each match is between two teams of 5 players and typically lasts between 30 and 40 minutes. In most other regards, this game is best understood as a club sport. Teams consist of professional, full-time players with corporate sponsorships. Large tournaments are sponsored by Intel, American Express, and Coca-Cola, and they attract teams from Europe and Asia. In 2013, the U.S. Visa Bureau recognized League of Legends as a professional sport, allowing international players to get visas to live in the U.S. so that they can play on American-owned teams. Fans pay to attend these tournaments to cheer for their favorite teams, and many more watch them online. For example, the Season 3 World Finals in 2013 were viewed by 32 million people. For reference, the most watched game of the 2013 NBA Finals attracted only 26.3 million viewers. League has attained this caliber of viewership because it elicits the same vicarious enjoyment as traditional sports. To understand how, let's watch the players at the end of a match. The following clip shows typical mid-season matches played by the European team, Fnatic. The winning team immediately removes their headsets and begins congratulating each other by shaking hands. This haptic gesture of appreciation is mirrored by the applauding audience. Every single team member is involved in this shared touch, showing their mutual appreciation for each other and their victory. During this time, the cameras focus only on the winning team, glorifying the winners for the fans. The losing team will not be shown until the winners go to shake their hands. There are variations of this ritual. In this match, the teams join together in a huddle instead of shaking hands. This alternative gesture has the same meaning, but is even stronger due to its proxemics. The team members are physically close together, mirroring their relational closeness. The winning team then crosses the stage to shake hands with the losers. As they do, they flash emblematic gestures to the cheering crowd. Notice the use of proxemics in the design of the stage. The winners are placed front and center after winning the match. As they shake hands, they continue to face the cameras, while the losers' backs are turned. The proxemics of camera placement and stage design further glorifies the winning team. Losing teams are slower to remove their headsets as they spend longer speaking about what went wrong during the match. They don't shake each other's hands in congratulation. Instead, the first handshakes they receive are from the winners. Their kinesics are different as well. Sloped shoulders and grim expressions show their sadness at the loss. On the far left, we see what Tracy and Matsumoto would describe as a classic expression of shame, hands covering the face and head tilted down. As the winning team crosses back, they get one more opportunity to flash emblematic gestures to the cameras. High-stakes situations create an even more intense emotional environment and more exaggerated execution of these rituals. Championships, rivalries, and surprise comebacks can all contribute to dramatic matches with proportionally dramatic nonverbal responses. As an example, let's watch the Taipei Assassins after winning the Season 2 World Championship. The removal of headsets is now promptly followed by cheering from the team and the crowd. The long shot of the cheering crowd emphasizes the importance of this match. This is a surprise victory against the usually dominant Koreans, so the Taiwanese team is incredibly proud of their success. Their nonverbals closely align with what Tracy and Robin identify as a pride display. After their congratulatory hugging, watch their kinesics. Notice the slight tilt back of their heads, their raised arms, and visibly expanded postures, all clearly displaying pride to the audience. And the crowd responds. You can see them jumping up and down in time with the players. The players are definitely using emblematic expressions to hype up the audience, but their posture clearly demonstrates innate pride as well. Particularly note their open stance and relaxed raised arms. This is a phenomenal experience for the winners. The losing team is much more subdued. They are not standing or cheering or shaking hands. Their crumpled posture is indicative of shame or disappointment. This Chinese team is showing outright sadness. In high-stakes matches, other elements are often different as well. In this clip, notice how the losing team has crossed the stage in order to shake hands with the still celebrating winners. Also note how handshakes are modified by cultural norms. These East Asian players bow slightly as they shake each other's hands. One thing that does not change is good sportsmanship. Notice the smiles and handshakes as these opponents meet on the world stage. As a final example, let's take a look at the most emotional match I could find. In this match, all the players know each other. They're long-term rivals. They exhibit incredibly innovative play for a surprise comeback. All of this sets the stage for intense pride and shame displays. I want you to pay particular attention to the team captains on either team. Notice the way their team surrounds them, or doesn't, after the match. Headsets are literally thrown off their heads and onto the tables as the player in the middle throws his arm upwards quickly after removing the headsets. That's an innate pride display. It's too quick to be used as an emblematic expression. The entire team is now standing together, jumping up and down in celebration. This not only includes the team, but the coaches and a sports commentator standing behind them. The reaction of the losing team is markedly different. They're not happy or celebrating. Again, their headsets are removed quickly, but they are not shaking hands. The team captain covers his eyes and face in a shame response. He's not making contact with anyone on his team or the audience. He hunches down, physically making himself smaller in the middle of the stage. This is exactly the kind of shame response we would expect from a dramatic loss. Even as he stands up, he still continues to cover his face. Notice that his team is not grouped around him. They're almost avoiding him, giving him space to suffer quietly and separately. This is in high contrast to the winning team. Notice how they still stand very close together, clustered around the team captain in celebration. It's been several minutes after the game has ended, and yet no one has shaken hands with the losing team's captain. Finally, one of his team members pats him on the shoulder in passing. As he summons his team over to go shake hands with the winners, the team captains shake hands first. This is a tough experience for everyone involved because both teams know and have played each other for a long period of time. Again, notice the deferrals. This winning team member is not making eye contact with the other team captain, even though he knows and respects him. That seems to be okay. As he walks back towards his side of the stage, the team captain hits his hands on the wall as a sign of frustration. Notice here that the first person to interact with them for an extended period of time is one of the color commentators. As an outside observer, the commentator can offer condolences on a humiliating, unforeseen loss. It's the kind of emotional intensity on display in these final matches that makes league or professional sport so engaging to watch. A core component of this is the expressiveness of the players themselves.